Welcome to Dr. Karen Health Talks. Well, today is April the 3rd, 2020, and it's my birthday today. And I decided one of the things I wanted to do was to make a podcast about what is meaningful to me right now. And my guess is that if I'm feeling it, you're feeling it. And I've had a lot of people, thank you so much for responding about how you enjoy my podcasts. I really appreciate that feedback because I never know if what I have to share is helpful, which is always the design for me, and the intention is that I'm sharing information and inspiration that is helpful for others. And here I am on my birthday, living in a world that we would never have thought that we would be here in this world this way right now. So in a world of affluence and abundance, we are in shelter at home, where it's recommended that we don't leave our house only for essential services, and healthcare workers are putting in major hours on the front lines, exposing themselves and their own health and their family's health. So you all know we are in a pandemic. And today I had a bit of a meltdown around it, and it was something about actually having a birthday and all that involves. My own family in Australia, as many of you know, I am Australian, and that part of me is, of course, always a big part of me. And my family here in the United States, that something about this day that opened me up. It broke me open to feeling what I don't think I had been feeling. And I'm not sure if any of you can identify with this, but when all of this hit, and we're in week 3 now of shelter at home, and we're trying to navigate day after day, like what we have to do today and what is different today and how can we be safe and keep others safe today. So there was action. So for me, what hit today was this weariness. So I listen to Brené Brown's podcasts, and I do love her words and what she shares. And I remember her talking about this, and I think I hit it today, of this really going deep inside and feelings that I was afraid to feel, to be honest, because so much is happening so fast. And a lot of it, let's face it, is very sad. And I do limit my news. I limit absolutely how much I watch and listen to on the news. Just keep informed, but maintain good self-care. But we all know that this is happening, and I found myself just shutting it down so that I can live day to day and be productive and be of service. So today was just a day, and I just encourage you, when you have those days, and you will have those days, that you just have to up-level your self-care on those days and feel the feelings and be honest and share them with someone you trust if that's possible, and know that this too shall pass, because we know that feelings pass. So one of the things that's really helped me today was just remembering a podcast of Brené Brown's about finding meaning. And she was interviewing David Kessler. And David Kessler has done grief work for over 30 years. And if any of you have known or heard about Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and I'm sure you have, what she was famous for were what we call the 5 stages of grief. And I know I did do a podcast about this, I think last week or the week before, the 5 stages of grief. And David Kessler, since Elizabeth's passing in 2004, he has written a new book called Finding Meaning, and he considers this the 6th stage of grief. And he's very careful to tell us that these stages of grief, which I believe we are all going through during this time, in and out of these stages. They are not prescriptive stages, they are descriptive stages. So just to remind you all, there are stages, but please, they are not 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't just follow them linearly. I am experiencing going in and out of the stages. It's kind of like the flow of water. One minute I'm in denial, which is, okay, this is all going to be fine soon, or we're going to get through this before the end of April. Just trying to bargain, if you like, and that's another stage. But denial is when we just pretend this is not really happening, and then perhaps we get angry and we are wanting to lash out and blame someone or some country or something for this whole thing. And then maybe we start bargaining about where we go. Maybe I'm just getting this shelter at home thing is just too much, so I'm just going to go out a little bit more, or bargaining, saying, oh yeah, I could get together with just one other person. You know the drill. I'm sure we've all been through this. And then there's that point of depression where you just hit bottom. And I think I experienced that today, where I just felt the pain. And this is mass pain. This is collective pain, because we're all in this together. It felt like a heavy weight of thinking about the healthcare workers and being grateful for them, but also feeling guilty in some ways of not being able to help them. And it just felt very heavy. And then I realized, of course, we're going to feel this. And please, if you have anyone in your family that has any pre-existing mental health issues, I can only imagine how hard this is at this time. And please be sure to reach out to them, connect with them. Just a phone call can make such a difference. And I am noticing more people are just lifting up the phone and checking in with people. And then the so-called fifth stage is acceptance. And sometimes I touch on that, but I've got a ways to go with that. And so David Kessler speaks about this sixth stage, which is meaning. And it's not that this pandemic has some kind of big meaning. It was sent to us intentionally. Please, it's not about the pandemic. It's about the meaning we give it. So the meaning as in the awareness, the discoveries that we are making about ourselves, about our community, about our world, seeing the kindness that is happening on so many levels, seeing how people are reaching out and being concerned about their own communities, looking at how we are supporting others, looking at our healthcare system and looking at what can we do better to make the healthcare system better. So the meaning, and for all of us, that's going to be so different. But it's helped me to know that there's always meaning that we give it. And it's very, very personal, and to be very compassionate and kind to everyone that we meet, because they're going to be in very different stages. And I have found these stages of grief to be just a real help to know that, oh yeah, there I am. I'm in that, or maybe it's after the fact, like, oh yeah, I remember last week that I did this. Yeah, I can see, but I moved out of that. So you might want to listen to Brené Brown's podcast. It's called Unlocking Us, and I always like to give a shout out to those people that are doing fabulous work in supporting everyone, because it's really helped me. That particular podcast with David Kessler on the finding meaning at this time, as he relates it to the stages of grief. And I really today just wanted to reach out and tell you that I am so grateful to my wellness community. I'm grateful to each of you that has reached out and said thank you for these podcasts, that they've been helpful to you. And so today, instead of just giving you lots of great health tips and advice, I just wanted to bring you a little of my personal journey and to reach out in any way, if that helps you, to know that you're going to weave in and out of different stages, like sometimes in a day. I mean, I'm in very different places, and that is okay. And reach out for support and connection. I've said many times that I'm really concerned about the mental health of our nation. Of course, I'm concerned about our financial health and our economic health, but also our mental health, because this takes its toll. And as this gets on longer and longer, week after week, please check in on your mental and emotional health and speak to someone. I've found it's always helpful to reach out to a friend that I trust and just be really honest about what's going on for you. So I hope that speaking about my personal journey today has helped you, and that you will reach out to a friend, as I did today, to just be able to talk through where you're at with a listening ear, and then give them some time to speak about where they're at, because we're all at very different places, even though we're all going through this pandemic together. It is a very unique journey for each of us, even though we are all in it together. And with that, I say thank you. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for so many things in my life, and I'm glad that I could do this special podcast on my birthday. I'm sitting in the sun with my puppy dog and just enjoying the blessings that spring here in the United States is bringing today. So until next time, this is Dr. Karen Wolf with Dr. Karen Wolf Health Talks.